Hi again. This week we're talking about contractors. I've got my sister with me again because there's a lot of stuff that you guys are going to need to learn and a lot of stuff I've learned the hard way. So let's dig right in and talk about how to find a contractor, where do you find them, and how do you get bids? How do you know what to ask them to fix? What kind of finishes do you put in there? All stuff like that. So, welcome, Donna. Thanks for joining me on this call.
Hey, Kevin. Thanks for having me back. I'm wearing my Kevin Carroll denim shirt today, so we can be twinsies. Finding a contractor and all the people to help me flip this house is a little nerve-wracking for me. One thing that I think of is might be akin to like going to a mechanic. And whenever I go to a mechanic for my car, it makes me really nervous because I don't know enough about cars to know whether they're ripping me off, whether I need what they're offering, all of those things. So, how do you find the professionals that you can really trust to tell you what you actually need and how much to spend on everything?
I mean that's the magic question, right? So let's start from the beginning. So we're looking for a contractor that can fix up our little grandma house. There's certain subs you're probably going to use. You're going to use a roofer. You're going to use a gutter guy specifically. A lot of these contractors will have those subs already and they'll be able to build that in. But where do you find this contractor? Because every contractor is different and every contractor has specialties. So we need a contractor that works with investors, that's used to working with out-of-state investors, that can do most of the project or sub out the other pieces so that we're not having to coordinate 7 different contractors into the house. What we're going to do is we're going to search that contractor out. So we're going to ask for a referral from realtors that work with investors. We're going to look in the MLS for flipped houses that look like they've been totally renovated. We're going to call that realtor and we're going to say, who did that work on that house? Can I have their name? We're going to look on some of the local the local real estate meetups like on Facebook and see if those contractors frequent those places. We can look on Craigslist. We can look on Google reviews. All these places, you're going to start to see hints about where these contractors are. You need to find like 2 or 3. You want to just kind of feel them out first and say, I'm buying this little grandma house and I need to get it rent ready for a tenant. And so I'm looking for, basic finishes, something durable. Do you do work like this? And then if they say yes, say, okay, well, how many houses a month do you fix like this? And if they say, well, I don't know, who knows? A good contractor will say, I have 2 crews of 3 or 4 guys each. We fix 3 to 4 of these houses a month. I'm typically doing, $5,000 to $25,000 worth of work on each one. And it ranges from anything from windows to flooring to paint to luxury vinyl plank, so flooring. They're able to kind of do all that stuff. They can paint the exterior of the house. They know roofers. They know gutter people. They know HVAC people. A lot of the stuff they'll do themselves, and a lot of the stuff they'll say, well, I do almost everything except for I don't install HVAC because I don't have a license for that. So I have somebody I use for that piece. Say, great. So then you ask them to go get you a bid on the house. If you get the bid back, that's a good first sign. Now, if it's on a hand-scratched piece of paper, there's no way they're doing 3 to 5 houses a month because they can't coordinate that. So a lot of these medium-sized little general contractors will use like an online app software that will help like detail out kitchen remodel, what's happening inside there. And it has detailed about what they're going to do, demo, going to put things back. They're going to, like, if the bid is somewhat detailed and it has a logo and a website, it doesn't have to have a website, but logo and a phone number, That's a good sign.
So that when you are asking for a bid, their level of professionalism will kind of give you clues to their level of professionalism when they're actually doing the work and their ability to do the work. So I have to pay attention to my initial communications and bids from them.
Yeah, if you're a new client and you have to ask them 4 times to go over there and do a bid, they're not the right contractor. A good contractor that can handle the volume of business that I'm going to be sending them, I need to have somebody that can do at least one house a month, full gut reno. Typically, someone that can do 3 a month, that's doing 3 a month, that's worked with contractors for, and investors for 20 years. That's a great guy to start with.
Okay, full gut reno. What does that mean?
For me, that's plumbing, kitchen, bathroom, all new light fixtures, maybe 6 windows, a roof and gutters. Like, you're basically rebuilding the whole inside of the house. Now, we're not adding foundations and structural things. We're just taking what we have and refreshing it and putting it back to, a safe, livable condition. You're standing at the house and you're looking at it. It all starts with the roof. Does it have a good roof? Does it have gutters? A key to protecting this house and making it last forever is to keep the water away from the foundation. So a good roof will keep the house from getting moldy and rotting. Good gutters will pull that water away from the house and keep your foundation from settling, keep water from getting in your crawl space or your basement. So all those components are great. So we start with the roof. Make sure the roof's good, the gutters are good. That's something that's going to last for 30 years. So if it has a bad roof, great. Put a new one on and get 3 bids from 3 reputable roofers. And don't necessarily pick the cheapest one. Pick the one that you think is going to do a good job, that has a warranty, that stands behind their work.
Okay, hold on. You said that my contractor is going to help me find all the subcontractors and do all that, and now you're saying I need to find a roofer. Help me.
So that's a great question. So you can pick a contractor that can do everything, and I've done that. Or you can pick certain subs. Like if you just need a roof on a house and you don't need anything else right now, pick a roofer, because then the contractor's not marking that job up. If you have a huge job, what I would say huge, it's like a $25,000 renovation, like a full reno, and the contractor is going to coordinate all of the subs, that's worth paying a little bit extra so that it all gets done in order and you don't have to handle it. So, but if you have just a furnace that you need replaced, find a furnace guy. And the contractor, once you start working with them, they may just say, hey, use my guy. And then you call him direct. And that's okay too. So don't be afraid to ask for that kind of stuff.
Cool. I know you've worked with lots of contractors in your 15 years as a realtor. So could you have any stories of good contractors and bad contractors?
I was working on a house on the West Coast, and I found a contractor that I thought got recommended from somebody, and they gave me a bid. Seemed great. They communicated right away. Seemed great. So I hired them, and I started, and I gave them $10,000 down. It was a big job. I gave him $10,000 down, communicated with him every week, and he would send me pictures, but they just weren't that great. The pictures didn't really show as much as they should have. And so he would say, okay, I've got this done and this done and this done. I'm like, okay, are we ready for carpet yet? Are we ready for this? And so I had Home Depot actually doing the carpet in that house. Is the siding repaired? What's going on? And then I didn't hear from him very much. And then he would call and ask me for money. I said, well, where are you on the project? You're like, well, if I get $5,000, I can finish up these couple pieces. I'm like, okay. So I gave him $5,000, and then I didn't hear from him for a couple weeks. And I just kind of knew something wasn't right. So I flew out there and I looked at the house, and it was a disaster. Everything he had done was I had to redo. And so what I learned from that is you have a second person verify the work. So if they say they need a draw or they're done, you have someone that's not on their team, that doesn't know them, go and verify that that work is done. So for me, my property manager has an assistant, and she is happy to drive over to the house, FaceTime me at the home, walk through the kitchen. I just had a kitchen remodeled. She walked through the kitchen and said, yep, and they were the same. It looked exactly the same as the pictures that the contractor had sent me. I said, how's the quality look? So everything looks square and tight. I said, okay. And we walked around, said, make sure you call. I told the contractor through her, make sure you put a cover plate on and a light and caulk this. So I basically said, to have her walk through the house and verify that what he was showing me was correct. Once it was done, I paid him immediately. And that's a key as well. So once you verify that work, you're going to pay the contractor, pay him immediately. Because these contractors are small and they don't want to have to wait for money. And if they know that when they're done with a job, you pay them immediately, they will come back and work for you all day long, every day, because they know they don't have to worry about getting paid. You want to be known as a reputable investor that works with contractors and pays them right away. So that is a really important piece that shouldn't be overlooked as well. A lot of these contractors use these online apps like Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, and those are great because then you can track your funds and give it to your bookkeeper so that you know how much you spent on them. But don't overlook that paying right away. That is any contractor that you do that with will come and work for you again, and they'll stop what they're doing and come work for you because they know they're going to get paid right away.
All right, that's awesome information. Really great to know. But I'm still coming back to this question of, paralleling it with the auto mechanic. How do I know if I'm getting ripped off or if I'm getting a good deal?
You don't really want to get a great deal. You want to get a good quality work in a timely fashion so that this contractor can come back and do work again for you. That's the whole idea of getting 3 bids. Because if one is way higher, which it might be, and one is way lower, which it might be, the guy in the middle is probably the right guy to pick. So, and that's the thing, you're not going to really know these contractors. You may find a contractor that works with higher end, middle, $250,000, $300,000 homes, and they're speccing out granite, and that's not the right sub for you because that's not the guy you want. And you might find a guy that is a one-man band that hand scratches stuff on a piece of paper and didn't really check his pricing. And when he's in the middle of the job, he's going to call you for overruns and say, oh man, I can't get that finish. I need to mark things up and have excuses on why things cost more. So a detailed bid from a contractor that's doing 2 or 3 of these houses a month, you'll probably have a good experience with that. That's what I would recommend.
Awesome. Do you have any experiences with good experience working with contractors that you can share?
Yeah, most of the contractors I work with are great. So you want to set expectations with them. So the contractor that just replaced the kitchen for me, he did a great job. But he said that he would do it in 2 weeks. Because I asked him, how long does it take to do it? When are you going to start? Every contractor does not finish on time. No contractor finishes on time. So you have to understand that. And if a contractor says it's going to take 2 weeks to do the work, budget in 4 weeks to finish that project, especially now with material shortages, things like that. And as they're on track, or if they're not on track, don't freak out on them. Just gently mention to them, like, hey, you said this project was going to be done here. Where are we at now? When's the new completion date? So if you complete the job in 4 weeks, in my mind, that's fine. So they just don't, I don't know why. Even my best friend's a contractor, even he does not finish on time. Like they just can't. Things come up.
Can you tell me the story of how you and Richard started working together and then the evolution of your relationship? Because I know that you guys have an awesome collaborative relationship right now, but how did that get started and what is it like now?
Yeah, I mean, so my best friend, his name's Richard. He's a contractor, and back when I was selling bank-owned properties years ago for banks, we needed, renovation guys. So the banks would ask us to fix properties. And so his business partner as a plumber happened to be the brother of our daycare provider. So I knew they were contractors. So I started to get bids from them to do projects for these banks. And they were competitive. And so they started to do these jobs for us. And we just became really good friends over time. And now when we renovate houses together in town, we share in the profit of the deals. He doesn't do work for me on a cost basis here. It's more of a shared profit idea. But that's a long-term trust thing. I mean, even the guys I do demo and stuff here in town, I've been working with them for over 10 years. I don't even get bids anymore. I just tell them, get your shovels and rakes and start on Tuesday. So, but that's taken a long time to get that trust.
So it's all about relationship building and building trust over time. I love that. That's what life's about, right?
And they know too. Like they don't have to bid the job. They know what I'm looking for because we've done hundreds of deals together. And the minute that they send me a bill, that check's going to be sitting at my front desk for them. For the demo guy and the trash out guy and things like that. So they don't even have to think about it. They just know the money's good, it's going to be there. And that goes a long ways. All right, well, thank you again for watching these weekly videos. So please remember to like and subscribe down below. It super helps us out. And next week, we're going to be talking about, something really fun and exciting. So check us out next week.
Awesome. And if you have any other questions, as always, you can also just post them in the comments below the videos and we'll get those answered for you. I know this is a lot, but you can do it.